Okay, so here's what I want you to do. So you filled your paper with your object. You can see I probably should have drawn a few more. I just didn't quite get to that. You're going to use your tempera paints. Now listen, just because I only gave you the primary colors, that doesn't mean that's all you can use. So, sorry, I have a frog in my throat this morning. So here's what you're going to do. The rest of the class is going to be using one color and just creating shades and tints from that one color. For your assignment, you don't have to stick to one color. I want you to stick to one color per object, okay? But if you wanted to paint the first object red, and then the second one orange, and then the third one purple, that's totally fine with me. Or if you want to pick a color scheme where you only use warm colors, like red, orange, and yellow, great. That doesn't matter to me. Or if you're like, no, I really just want to use one color with the shades and the tints, totally fine. That is your choice, okay? You're going to do something similar to what the rest of the class is doing, but their piece is going to, it's going to come out a little more abstract, and I would like yours to come out a little more lifelike. So I want you really working with those, blending those shades and the tints into your objects. And here's kind of what I mean. So if I were going to paint this, now I did star fruit, but who cares? Like, you can paint it whatever color you want. So, I find that these tempera paints, the color it's really intense. So what I am going to do is I'm going to mix up a color here. I just, the pigment is really, really kind of basic, I feel like, a little bit. All right, so I'm going to make my main color like this. And I'm not going to lie, I usually use magenta to make to mix, because magenta works better for mixing colors, but this will be fine for today. So I've mixed up this like dark violet, which is totally fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start painting my first object. I'm just going to do one object at a time. And what you want to pay attention to, just like we were talking about in class yesterday, is working on those shades and the tints. So look at your reference photos that you've created and make sure that you're really going in and finding the places that are the darks and the places that are the lights, and you're adding it in. So you can see I'm taking a little black, and I know that there's kind of a dark. This is a little right here on my star fruit, so I'm going in and I'm blending it. Now, don't be afraid to use a little bit of water with the tempera paint. And also, when I use it, I use a lot of dry brush technique. So I know you didn't see that because it was off the camera. I just dried off my brush on a paper towel, and then I'm coming in and I'm kind of like scrubbing it in. This might not be the most precise way to use tempera paints, but it's the way I like to use them. And then I would go here, same thing. Oops. For some reason that hunk had a little little blue in it. I didn't get that totally mixed up. Same thing, I'm going through, I'm painting my object, and I'm looking for those areas of lights and darks. I'm going to use a teeny bit of water in mine. Don't use too much water, as you can see I just did, because the paper just can't handle it, especially with the tempera paint. So then I'm going to, and I told you I just did exactly what I told you guys not to do. Make sure you're not mixing the black and white and the color together. So when you want to go light or you want to go dark, make sure you're mixing just the pure color and then either white or black. Otherwise it muddies it up. Okay, let me take a scoop over here. Don't use your finger like I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to create this lighter shade, and I'm going to come in here. And tempera paint, it's kind of like watercolor in the sense that you have to do layers. So once this dries, I would go back in and lighten up again, like add another layer of light, add another layer of dark, just to make sure those tones are exactly how I would like them. And so I just dried my brush off again, and then I'm going through here, and the dryer brush helps me blend the colors together. Okay, so you're essentially doing the same thing that the rest of the class is doing, But instead of your object being in groups of 6, I want your object just to be in giant piles. And I don't mind if you use multiple colors. Make sure each object, even though my object looks like it's purple and blue, make sure each one of your objects, each object needs to be same. So this, if I decided I could paint that red, this would have to stay purple. This one could be green. You can choose a color scheme of your choice, but you're really working on finding the areas of the dark and the areas of light of your object. So just take your time. This is a process. It requires layering. Let things dry as you go, and just try your best. Tempera paint is a little finicky, so don't get frustrated. Just if something's not working, just move to a different spot. And once the tempera paint dries, it's pretty easy to paint over or kind of manipulate it in a new way. Okay? All right, awesome. I'll check in on you guys later.